Hey guys, TKC here, TheKaijudoChannel, and we have another handful of awesome Invasion Earth spoilers to talk about, so let's get straight to it. I believe 5 or so super rares have been spoiled in the last week. Let's start with the biggest super rare of them all, and that is the Nature Monarch himself, Almighty Colossus. This thing is a beast. It has the same stats as Infernus the Immolator, which is pretty cool. Level 11, 17,000, as the Colossus race and the Monarch race. It has triple breaker like all the other ones, so no quad breaker shenanigans, sadly, but still really awesome. It's got Pulverize, which is its main ability, which is super cool. When this creature enters the battle zone, it battles target enemy creature. So basically, except for Haven, Neptus, I said Haven twice. Except for Haven, Neptus, and Laws, and Slayers, I guess, this thing pretty much defeats every single creature in Kaijudo, which is pretty crazy. Besides those creatures, it basically is a terror pit on a creature, which is absolutely insane. And then it has Primordial Roar, which is whenever this creature attacks, and whenever it becomes a target of one of your opponent's spells or abilities, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and then out of those 3, you choose a nature creature, and you can play it into the battle zone for free, even if it's an evolution creature. So you can put Sabertooth onto a Beastkin, or Hive Queen on top of a Mega Bug, or any other nature creature that does something awesome. You can do anything with that. And then of course it has the Nature Monarch ability that boosts all your other nature creatures' power by 4,000. Overall, pretty impressed with what they did with this. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised there's no ramp at all on this kind of thing, because that's kind of what nature does, but I guess ramp isn't really as relevant on a huge creature like this. You kind of want it to do other awesome things like what Kurigar does, bringing other creatures, so they kind of copy-pasted that effect a little bit, but kind of improved it. I'm sure decks based around this can actually happen. There are a lot of really cool nature creatures out there, like Terra Dragon, Lepidos, I guess even like the multi-civs too, like Cordia, Boran, things like that. There are a lot of really cool nature creatures that you can get off of this card. Or, you could even get another Almighty Colossus and then fight another creature, and then really crazy stuff happens from there. Alright, next is the super rare that actually got previewed like right after I made the last week's video, and that is Napalm E the Conquering. It's an armored dragon, level 9, 12,000 power, triple breaker. So it's very similar to Infernus the Awakened in stats, but a little bit weaker. And has brutal offensive. All your other armored dragons have powerful attack plus 5,000, and they break an additional shield. So, we don't have a quad breaker yet, but with this card, you can give your triple breaking armor dragons quad breaker, and that is just insane. 4 shields is pretty cool, and then the 5,000 power boost is nothing to laugh at either. The main effect, I have to say, is the next one, which is Intimidating Presence. All your opponent's dragons can't attack, which is absolutely crazy. So, in a way, this card was kind of a counter to just Dragon Strike in general, I guess. But that doesn't stop other dragon players from using this card too, so it'd be kind of funny if people, start using this and then they both play at the same time, and then like their dragons are just staring at each other, and then it becomes a bird war, caw caw, and then yeah. Definitely see this card seeing play, but I don't know in what kind of deck really. I guess a control deck that doesn't rely on dragons, I guess. Well, it could, because dragons are awesome, but if they go against another deck that uses this, they're kind of messing themselves up too. So maybe a control deck that doesn't focus too much on armored dragons and just kind of has this as like a lockdown card could be kind of interesting. The next super rare that I'm going to preview right here is Tesori the Brawler. A very, very flavorful card, and it's very, very interesting. It has Protector, level 6, 7,000 power, double breaker. Fierce Friend is its main ability, and this is really cool. Whenever one of your creatures that has Scaradorable or Glurgle in its name is attacked, untap this creature, and then this creature gets plus 5,000 power until the end of the turn. So basically, if you are using a Squeaky and this card is like its loyal protector. It's its bodyguard. Like, you cannot attack Scaradorable because I have Tesori the Brawler, who's just going to untap itself and then block you with its protector ability. So, very flavorful card, and a lot of people are going to try, like the main character or the main creature's deck, I guess. So they're going to have, Tesori, Glurgle, and Scaradorable, or maybe just Scaradorable and Tesori. And, funny decks could happen with that, so very excited to see what's going to happen with this card, although I don't really know if it's going to see much play, but who knows, maybe Fire, Darkness, Nature, or something like that. And now the last super rare that they showed, I believe, on the Facebook group on Kaijudo Dojo. I think it was Chuck Arnett and Andrea Cole from Wizards of the Coast kind of like battling it out in a way, and then boom, Andrea Cole brings out this card right here, Warbringer Poseidon, another really crazy corrupted creature. It's a level 7, 7,000 power double breaker. It's a Leviathan. It has Mind Wipe, which is the main ability. Each time one of your corrupted creatures would be banished, return to your hand instead. So you basically have a Hovercraft Lurgle or Finbar's Dreadnought for your corrupted creatures, which is really cool. You kind of protect them. And then you have Tainted Seas, which is you tap 2 fewer mana cards to summon corrupted creatures. So this is like a double Firebird for corrupted creatures, which is pretty awesome, except it's on a level 7. So I guess if you get it out on turn 7, and then, you know, the next turn you just kind of like play corrupted creature after corrupted creature after corrupted creature, that could be really cool, but you have to have a lot of cards in your hand to do that. But that's why if you use cards like the new Aqua Seneschal, if you use that in your corrupted creatures deck, then you probably will have a lot of cards in your hand, and so you can just swarm the field with corrupted creatures because of Warbringer's effect. And by the way, the art is really, really awesome. Like, just look at this thing. It's huge. I mean, it's kind of ugly at the front, but then you look at its like tail and stuff, and you see like cities sprouting out of its tail. It's like, what? This thing is massive. Yeah, Choten has got some very nasty corrupted creatures here. And today they showed off another corrupted creature, this time not super rare, finally going to move down to the very rares. This one is Luminar Unleashed, level 5, 7,000 power, and it is an evolution on either a corrupted creature or an enforcer. Has Double Breaker and has Hollow Decoys, which basically turns all of your corrupted creatures into Shock and Awes. So we already have all the creatures that turn into Aqua Seneschal, into like a half Keeper of Laws, into Freakish Test subjects, and now we have Shock and Awes. So yeah, don't really have much to say. I mean, I would prefer using the Schoolless. It's a lot more impressive. It has a lot more power, and it makes everything unblockable and Slayer, which is just a lot more than what this thing does, but I do see this card working in a Corrupted Creatures deck as well, especially if you don't want to use Darkness, you can use this instead. And continuing these awesome double evolution cards, we have Volcano Dervish here, which is a level 4, 6,500 power Skyforce Champion / Melt Warrior. That is a very interesting combination. So it has Protector, it has Double Breaker, and has Molten Core. At the end of each of your turns, untap this creature. So it is a Plasma Pincer as well, and that's funny because Plasma Pincer is also a Melt Warrior, one out of only 2 Melt Warriors in the game. Explosive Infantry one's the other Melt Warrior, it's level 2, it's kind of not that great, but Plasma Pincer is pretty cool, and it's level 3, and it untaps. So usually, you know, they can't really deal with the Plasma Pincer, so you could easily go into this turn 4, which is really cool. A Firelight Rush deck could work. This basically is like a Sparkblade Protector in a way, except it's a little bit more powerful, except it doesn't have Blocker as Protector, which is good in a Rush deck because you are attacking with your other creatures, and so either way, you'll be protecting your creatures with this Dervish card. It has Double Breaker just like Sparkblade, and it also has more power than Sparkblade. And on top of that, at the end of each of your turns, you have to untap this, so they won't even be able to attack this. So, you know, Plasma Pincer into this is definitely something to consider, but hopefully there's going to be some more cheap Melt Warriors that you could evolve this on top of, or if not, you know, Explosive Infantry is still a viable option. And the last of the dual evolution creatures that they showed off last week or today or whenever is Victory Gunner. It is a level 5, 5,000 power Stomper Beastkin. Finally a Stomper evolution. Really cool. So you put on one of those two, it has Reload. Whenever this creature becomes tapped for the first time each turn, untap it. So there's a lot of, you know, untap shenanigans going on in this set, which is really cool. Mana Charge Rounds is the other ability. Whenever this creature attacks, you may put the top card of your deck into your mana zone. So this card is basically a Razorhide and an Onslaught Trooper mixed into one card. And it doesn't have Double Breaker, but still a very interesting card. So one of the best bait for this card would be Weaponized Razorcat, because it has both races, and you could put that into some sort of like Saberbolt deck, because that's already really good in Saberbolt, and then you throw this in, and you could evolve it on the Razorcat or any of your other Beastkins, and you could continuously ramp with this because you can attack twice basically, since it untaps the first time it taps. You can, you know, attack and have a general Finbar, so you're going to draw twice and ramp twice. you know, there's a lot of crazy combinations, but I could easily see this in like a Water, Fire, Nature Saberbolt deck because it has the same kind of themes. It has the ramp, and it has like the aggressiveness in that it could attack twice. You know, very, very versatile card, so I'm very excited to see where this is going to be in the meta, because I think it has a really good place in Saberbolt. Alright, and now to end things off, 2 more protector cards, because, you know, all those other protectors are not enough. We need more protectors. So, we have the first one here, which is Tusk Shouter. Awesome stuff. Protector, Double Breaker, level 5, 7,000 power, and its main ability is Battering Tusks. While your opponent has a creature in the battle zone, this creature can only attack the creatures. So in a way, this is like the opposite of the 4-set card all the way back from Evo. It was also a level 5, 7,000 power creature, but it was only able to attack shields. Now this one actually has the potential to attack shields as well, but only if they have no creatures left. I don't really know where this, you know, kind of fits, but at least it's, you know, a decent sized beastkin that can put in a lot of work and protect your creatures, which is really cool. And the last preview to show off today, another protector. This one is really cool. Gauss, this big level 8, 8,000 power rock brute. It has protector as well. It has double breaker. And incendiary terrain, each enemy creature attacks creatures each turn if able. So this is like a mega Ninja Pumpkin effect in that all their creatures have to attack all your creatures if they can, which is absolutely nuts, because you can have this card played and then you could have, I don't know, some other really big creature on the field and you attack with that. Now hopefully that thing lives, so let's say you attack one of their tapped creatures and then you pass it to them. And then, well, they have to attack creatures that turn, so all their creatures have to tap themselves into that other creature you attack with, and then if, let's say, that creature isn't powerful enough to get rid of their creatures, well then, boom, you just block with Gauss, and then it's gone, and then everything just blows up. And your opponent is sad because he had to force his creatures into your big creatures and basically lose the game from there. So, I think this card has a lot of interesting implications. I don't know, I mean, Lepidose could be something very, very interesting. If you have Lepidose on the field and you have this, and then everything runs into either this or Lepidose, they're losing all their shields as well as their creatures. So that's a pretty nasty combo right there. That's just one example. I'm sure you guys could come up with really crazy examples and awesome combos with all these cards as well. But yeah, guys, that is pretty much it for the previews. Lots of previews. I believe as I'm recording this, Thunderstalt and Carl Reddish is supposed to be uploading another preview, which is the light super rare. It's called Cassiopeia, something like that, and it enters the battle zone or does something crazy. So I guess by the time this video is uploaded, that'll probably already be up, so stay tuned for that. Also on the website, they updated some other things. They put up the deck lists from not this weekend that just passed, but the one before that. That was the one where I top 8'd, which is really awesome, so you could go ahead and check my deck there if you haven't, and check all the other awesome decks. I used Kalima, so you could kind of scroll down to the bottom, you'll see my name, Corey L, All Hail the Queen, bam, there's my deck. So that's pretty cool. I'm happy they stuck with the names this time instead of just like putting default names or just our names, period. So awesome stuff, Wizards. Alright guys, before I go, what do you guys think of the Almighty Colossus card? Do you think it's not as good as the other Monarchs? Do you think it's the best Monarch ever? Do you think you're going to be using it in a deck in the future? Do you have cool ideas with it? Let me know in the comments. I'd like to see what you guys have to say. And, well guys, this is TKC, the Kaijudo channel, signing off with this episode of Kaijudo News. Hope you enjoyed, guys. Have a nice day. See you later.